Hello Reddit, this is my first ever post, so forgive me if it doesn't meet the standards. Before I should start, I should mention that I, 18M, really like wearing rings and I have been wearing them for years. Last year on my 18th birthday, my parents got me a really nice silver band with a nicely sized blue topaz on top, with 8 small diamonds inlaid in 4 grooves that lead from the side to wear the topaz at the top of the ring. This happened last Sunday. Anyway, I'm living in Colorado for college and have been really busy with setting up everything for the new semester after spending winter break back in California with my family. After 3.5 to 4 hours of work, I deceived myself to go out into town and treat myself to a nice dinner. As I was walking around looking for a place to eat, I heard someone say behind me say, "Hey, can I see your rings?" I turned around and saw a girl who was maybe 14 or 15, who I'll call NG. She had a small silver ring inlaid with a repeating pattern of grooves, and we started talking. "Sorry for stopping you, can I take a look at your rings?" "Sure. I see you're also a fan of shiny things." "Yeah, but sadly my parents are not the biggest fans of me wearing them." "That sucks." "Don't worry, my mom wasn't real excited about me wearing them, but after a bit, she liked how much I enjoyed them." This is when she notices my topaz ring. "Wow, that one is so pretty. What's the gem at the top?" "A blue topaz. I got this one last year and it's my favorite one." "I wish that I could have one like that." This is when her EM walks over. At first she was acting nice, so I wasn't bothered. I'll add names now so it's not confusing. EM: "Hey, I hear that my daughter likes your rings." She notices the one we were talking about. "Oh, that is quite pretty. Where'd you get it?" OP: "I got it as a gift from my parents." If you're asking where they got it, then sorry, because I don't know. NG: "Mom, do you think I could get a ring like that for my birthday?" EM: "Maybe I'll have to know what you like first." NG, to me now: "Do you know where we could find rings like that?" OP: "Yeah, Etsy is great for online shopping, and as for stores, I haven't tried any places around yet." NG: "Do you not live around here?" OP: "Yeah, I'm actually from California, but I'm here because of college." EM: "Oh, what are you studying?" OP: "Biochemical engineering." The college that I go to is a well-renowned engineering college. This is when EM's attitude changed. EM: "Oh wow, that sounds like it pays a lot." OP: "It definitely can, but it can be a difficult subject." EM: "How much did that one cost?" OP: "About $600. EM: "That's expensive, but surely you'll be able to afford more expensive rings when you get your degree." OP: "I guess." A bit hesitant now. "Why do you ask?" EM: "Well, since my daughter likes it so much and you'll be able to afford better ones soon, I was thinking you could just give my daughter yours." OP: "Sorry, but like I said, this was a gift and it's not for sale." EM: "No, I want you to give it to her, not sell it." Both NG and I are visibly confused. NG: "Mom, I don't want his ring. Besides, it's a men's ring and there's no way it would fit me." EM: "Ugh, stop making excuses. Just give her the ring now." OP: "Like I said, I'm not giving it to you. I was just going to get dinner anyway. Goodbye." I turn around and I'm about to leave when the EM grabs me. NG: "Mom, what are you doing?" God: "This is why I don't go out with you anymore. I'm calling dad and going home." She turns to me: "Sorry for this." The EM lets go of my arm and looks at me pissed. She scoffs: "This is all your fault," then walks away after her daughter trying to get her attention. Sorry if this wasn't a real exciting story, but I had to just post this about my first encounter. Poor girl. She's obviously gone through years of shit. I'm sorry, OP. Hope this didn't make you lose your faith in humanity. That is why my rings are clearly not to everyone's taste and liking. I like heavy silver rings. One is shaped like the Quake logo with a long spike, the obligatory big bad bearded biker skull, a double surgical steel ring with Celtic patterns, a silver ring with a ruby and lapis lazuli inlays that I bought in the US, another double ring from steel with stylized lizard gravings, and one that is 3 rings intertwined into one. And my hands are so big, so finding a ring that can fit on my fingers is hard. Next story. So, context. I, 29M, and my wife 27F are a mixed race couple. I'm white, she's black Somalian, and because of this I changed my religion from Christian to Islamic. My parents are devoted Christian white folk, so their pale, freckled redhead child being someone black and Islamic is a big no-no. They held it in for our wedding though, despite it being a normal Christian wedding, and her family supported us, so we thought it was all good, right? Wrong. About 3 years later, we found out we were going to have a child, a girl, and we couldn't wait. My wife, let's call her Maya, wanted to name the baby after her sister who had passed away due to cancer. I immediately said yes because I just wanted to make her happy, plus I liked the name Romesa, not real name. When my parents found out, they were not happy. I went to their house, this was our convo. Note, my dad isn't as entitled as my mom, but he is rather strict even though we joke a lot together. Mostly he fears her and goes along with whatever scam she pulls. EM. Oh hi Opie, how's your wife doing? Me. She's doing great, how are you? EM. I'm okay, she said sadly, but I'm thinking of baby girl names for you. Me. Oh thanks, but we already chose a name. EM. Oh I know, Rumisa. Pronounced incorrectly. Anywho, I have a name that's perfect. It's my name, isn't that a great idea? Side note, my mom's name, I'm not gonna say her actual name, is Maria, so not an Islamic name. Me. Sorry, I can't. It's not Islamic and my wife wanted it, so I support it. She frowns before immediately getting cross and raises her voice. Oh please, I know my child more than you do, and I know you don't actually want that. You clearly want your offspring to have a nice Christian name, refers to herself, and be a devout Christian like me. Why are you being so selfish? I just want to be remembered in the family after I pass. She was 52 in the story. Think about the women who raised and helped you become the man you are today, who stopped you from making bad decisions that are bad to Jesus. I bet your wife has intoxicated my baby's mind with evil thoughts against God. I was a little ticked off by her at this point. Me. Mom, calm down, I'm not your baby anymore and can make my own decisions. EM. This is ridiculous. Why are you so disrespectful? Are you possessed you're not the boy I raised? She then called my dad from upstairs. Now, my dad's never been a bad guy, just a bit selfish at times. He's mainly a bald-head orange Viking beard guy. So my dad comes rushing down as my mom starts bawling that I was being rude to her and I was on the wrong path to hell. Sweet old dad proceeded to give me an earful about how I need to apologize to my mother about stressing her out, then demanded I do as she said and name the baby after her, then promptly asked me, more like told me, to do the same with his name if we have a boy. I just left afterwards and didn't see them until the birth of my child. Of course, we put the original name down for our child like we intended, but my mother had apparently been telling everyone, and I mean everyone, about how we were going to name the child after her, and how she would be just like her with pale skin and dark brown hair with blue eyes. Not sure how she got to that conclusion, but in her words, God always finds a way. She said it to everyone, friends, family, colleagues, so imagine my surprise when I started getting messages congratulating me on baby Maria. Also, she has my surname, aka her surname, and the confused messages I got back when I corrected them. They informed me they told them about the delusion my mom made them think was my life. She said how I was married to a white Christian lady, I was becoming a pastor, and worst of all, they showed me images of her on Facebook and social media with scraggly hair, a beard, and a leather jacket to me with short hair, clean shaven with church clothes on, taken at different times, and messages about how I was misguided as a rebellious youth, and after she helped me find God, I straightened out and became what she wanted. The message that still annoys me to this day is, my son is going to be the next Nikki Cruz, and I feel safe knowing I have helped make a person who will spread the word of Jesus and will make the world a better place. I was so annoyed that she basically rewrote my entire life without me knowing and how she wanted me to be. The final straw though was when I got to her house after my baby's birth. We went to my mother's house, who proceeded to hog the baby while looking not so pleased. The baby didn't look like her, lol. Before asking when the baptism is. Me. Mom! We're Islamic, remember? The baby is also Islamic? EM. What? How could you do this to poor Maria Jr.? Me. First of all, her name is not Maria. Second of all, I'm not just some toy you can play with. EM, how dare you after all I've done for you? Me, you haven't done anything to me other than be a pain. Come on, Maya, let's leave. We then left for the party as my mother was yelling at us, crying that no amount of praying could save us for a path of sin. Worst part, she then keeps contacting my wife, telling her that she was ripping me from her and my religion, and how she should get a divorce if she wants to go to heaven. That type of stress should not be put on a new mother. She also keeps telling me to divorce and come back to church and let her see her grandbaby, but she continues to call her Maria Jr. and refuses to accept the name we gave her. Whatever you do, don't leave your baby alone with her or anyone on that side of the family. I'm a Christian minister, and I personally would not baptize an infant until several meetings with their parents, guardians. Even then, I'd need them to be a member of the church because of my denomination's understanding of baptismal covenants. However, I can see her finding a way and a church to get your little girl baptized as Maria Jr., then pitching a fit about using her Christian name, which is an antiquated, colonialist, gross concept. More importantly, in the US, baptismal documents can be used as legal identification documents. Protect your sweet girl. May Allah bless you with the gift of your daughter. May she reach the maturity of years, and may you be granted her righteousness. I feel sorry for you. I had friends who were also a mixed couple. He is Muslim from Sri Lanka, and she is from the UK with Irish roots, so probably Catholic background. When they started dating, his parents pretty much renounced him. They weren't even at the wedding. They did come back after they had a baby. The baby was called an Irish name with a Muslim middle name. The couple was later traveling back to his country with the kid, and each and every relative kept calling her by her middle name. Drove both of them crazy. He said he was constantly correcting them, but to no avail. Your mother has severe emotional and possibly mental issues. I would sit her down and not ask, but tell her that if she wants any contact with you, she and possibly dad need to enter therapy. It's not negotiable. At some point, the therapist will be contacting me for a group meeting. If they don't, you know she's lying and cut all contact at that point. Source: I'm 51 and have been dealing with a very similar EM my whole life. This is the only way that works for me. Remember, much like mine, she has a voice in her head telling her what to do. People like this are attributed to God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, or whatever to avoid having to check their own selfish desires. Why would she be in the wrong with God telling her how to deal with it? This is a job for a professional. Next story. This has been happening over the course of a few months now, but it's too hilarious not to share. A bit of backstory beforehand: we all study in the same uni and I live in a room with two roommates. C, who is in the same year group as me, and D, who's one below. EP is close friends with both of them. EP, as well as a few others of their friends, occasionally come through the room because they keep stuff in the fridge or just to watch the TV. I typically don't mind since they do their thing and I do mine. Plus, they're my roomies' friends and I don't want to cause tension. This started off a few weeks after I started seeing my new girlfriend. Whenever my roomies went home, I'd usually invite her to stay in my room, even though she lives a few doors down. Because she smokes, I usually asked her to go to the window to smoke, though when my roommates got back the first time around, they complained about the smell and just asked us to vent out the room before they got back. No big problem. EP comes in one day a few weeks after that and starts making a big fuss about how the room stinks of cigarettes and how he's going to tell C and D so they can get you kicked out of the room. I told him I've already talked with C and D and reached a working agreement, but he wouldn't have it, until he eventually left in a huff. I later asked my roomies if there was a smell in the room and if we vented well, and they said they wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't said anything. Also, since we got together with my girlfriend, I spent a lot of time in her room and then come back to mine to check on my PC and sleep. Literally every single time he saw me walking through the door, I'd hear the same goddamn question from him. Did you smash? Did you smash? And I'm just like, bro, even if I did, you're not nearly close enough of a person to me to share that kind of detail. Eventually, I just started telling him, EP, my answer has been and will always be the same: quit asking. To the point where even C yelled at him saying, "Bro, he's told you he won't tell you anything, why do you keep bugging him?" Another time I sat down to play some Xbox and have my headphones on. Typically, they're ANC headphones, and I can't hear what happens around me. But in this case, I switched it off because I heard myself mentioned in the convo. It went something as follows. EP, you should get OP kicked out of the room. He doesn't clean, he doesn't party, and he doesn't socialize with y'all. C, leave him be, bro. What has he done to you? Not to mention, unlike you, he actually washes his own dishes after he eats with us. EP, he always lets his girlfriend smoke in the room even though you guys have told him not to. C, and he vents like we agreed to. If you don't like it, just leave the room. And it went back and forth like that. One of the other incidents was again one I caught while with my headphones. EP and D got into a playful wrestle and knocked over the electric kettle. I'd filled it earlier to make some tea, so it spilled everywhere. This conversation had to be heard to be believed. EP, OP is responsible for this. D and C, how is OP responsible? EP, he set that up so I'd knock it over and it'd get blamed on me. C, EP, that kettle has been there since it was first put there 3 damn years ago. EP, well, it's still OP's fault. And the whole reason why he acted like this? His roommate, who he was close friends with, was graduating, and he wanted to get me kicked out of the room so he could replace me. Luckily, my roommates have my back, saying he pays just as much rent and has just as much right to the room as we do. If he doesn't want to move out, we can't force him. One more unrelated story. I occasionally get packages from London. It's an abroad uni with snacks and stuff that I need. Usually my mom sends me these really nice caramel chocolates, about 10 to 15 bars per box, that I keep in the fridge until I want to eat them. The first time he saw them, he asked me to give him one, which I replied, no, they're rare for me, and I want to save them for when I actually want to eat them, not just open one for you to try then not enjoy it myself. Is it selfish? Yes, but it's also my chocolate. A few weeks after that, I'd gone to visit some friends for a weekend, and my roomies decided to host a party in the room in which EP was invited. I've heard this part secondhand from my roomies, so I don't know all the details, but apparently EP had tried to get my chocolates, going as far as to say, OP is not here right now, he won't notice if one is missing, and he doesn't eat them anyway, they just sit there. Eventually, C had enough and physically kicked him out of the room and didn't let him back in. He then warned him that he would be put in permaban from the room if he even asked about the chocolates again. One of my care packages also had drinks that they don't sell here, and he asked me if he could have one, to which I replied the same as above. His response to that was, well, fine, be selfish then and drink them yourself. To which I happily replied, that's exactly what I was planning to do.